Today we're going to explain the solo leveling Arise gacha system. I hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. Speaking of other videos on the channel, which I didn't mention yet, but I will now, I did a video guide explaining the best weapons on the gacha and also the best characters that you may or may not want to check out, which you can find linked in the description or clickable on the screen of this video when this video is close to its end. Subscribe if you are new as well. We're trying to grow this channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Some of you guys may know me from other content channels. My name is Dearfree. I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyway, let's hop in. So we're going to start off with this banner here, the standard selection draw. This is a gacha that's going to be here for more than 100 days. So a lot of games have a standard gacha that's just pretty much always up, and that's what this is. So I don't know if it'll ever expire, but a lot of times those don't really, but that's kind of what this is. On this banner, we do have the ability to add the rate up list. It is worth noting that on the separate banner, you can't really change anything, but let's go ahead and see what the rates look like here. So the base SSR rate in this game is 1.2%. No matter what game you're talking about, that's pretty dog crap. Just bad. It's just bad. 1% is bad, right? Games are starting to get away with these rates again after a lot of games push their rates to 3, 5, even 10%, depending on how old the game is anyway. A lot of games don't hit 10. I think the average is about 3. Anyway, 1.2 is pretty damn bad. Now, the thing is, when it comes down to it, the next question is typically whenever you do that is how good are the other SSR characters? Can you get some of these other characters repeatedly or other weapons repeatedly and then limit break them up through the duplicates and, you know, get a pretty substantial character? You probably can. I'm not here to tell you can't do that. I don't really know yet because I haven't been in that position yet. But nonetheless, I assume that you can because that's typically how a lot of games work. But obviously, people want to get the flashy SSR character. And unfortunately, that is a 1.2% chance of happening. Now, on this gacha, he's at 0.6. So when you get one, half the time, if you get an SSR, half the time, it will be Choi Jung-in. Okay? For the record. Now, here's how things look on this standard gacha. And by the way, this is up for a month, dude. So anyway, you have plenty of time to come for him. He is the best mage in the game right now. So anyway, whenever we get like a new banner or whatever the case is, they did put out a roadmap, by the way. I am assuming that the next one on the roadmap was a new hunter and shadow. I think it was a hunter and a shadow. It might be a hunter and weapon, then the next month is hunter and shadow. Anyway, whenever there's more stuff on here, by the way, right now it's just him. Whenever there's more, it's still going to be half. You're going to see in a moment that the rate up chance is only going to be half. So like say that they put a weapon for Choi Jung-in here as well. He would be at 0.3 and the weapon would be at 0.3. And then the rest of this cumulative stuff would be making up the other half of the 1.2%. Next, go and take a look at an example of that. I actually don't know if you can peel some of this off and have it. No, you have to have 4 at least. Okay, so never mind. I was wondering if you could like peel some of these off and have it weight to the ones that you want specifically, but no, that's not how that works. Now, the other banner does not apparently have a pity system. No, never mind. It does. I was like, I don't see anything, but that's because I haven't pulled here. So let's go ahead and pull it up here to kind of explain it. The rate increases after 64 draws in general. So let's pull that up. After you've done 64 pulls, the rate will go up. Where's that detail at? Where's the info for that? It's in here somewhere, but I just don't see it. I'm not going to spend 6 years looking for it. Okay, I'm not going to spend 6 years looking for it, but I'm sure they've got it in here somewhere. This is the last button I'm going to press live in the video. This opened me to the website, so never mind. All right. So after you've done 64 pulls, they have a guide for the... This is so funny. Let me actually just tell you what they say on the guide page that I didn't open up the website for. The rate up list function increases your chance to pull what you look for. There's a 50% chance to draw one of the 4 selected SSRs on the other, gacha, not this one. If you obtain an SSR through draw support that is not one you selected, you have a 25% chance of obtaining one of the 4 rewards from the selection list during the next draw support. Oh, that's pretty good little tidbit that I'm pretty sure wasn't on that little dialogue there. All right, so the way that this one works is, anyway, after you've done 64, you have a guaranteed SSR on your 80th draw. So within 80 draws are guaranteed, but when you get around 64, the rates will go up. I'm not seeing specifically on the webpage or anything like that without doing more digging what the rates are going to climb to from 0.6 or 1.2, depending on which rate you're talking about. But this banner, they do mention here that it's a similar setup. So the rates do increase around 64, and then SSR, you get one SSR guaranteed within 80. When you get that SSR, this will reset back down. Unfortunately, they're not trying to let you double dip, of course. But this just means that I've got shafted 3 multis in a row and a couple singles, by the way. So anyway, that's that. That's not great. I also want to note really quick that they do have different tickets. So the tickets exchange for 250 for one, and you need 10 tickets for a multis for the total of 250 of these gems. So that exchange rate is the same between both of these banners, but doing separate tickets is kind of a scummy way of saying that they're gonna probably give these tickets out pretty easily. In fact, I know they do, because you can get these tickets pretty easily just from completing story stages. They also give you these gem things too, but still not great, considering that these ones are gonna be harder to get. They're probably gonna be locked into purchasing, or, you know, if you've played like other games that do that. One I'm playing right now is Honkai Star Rail. That other ticket is kind of hard to come by most of the time in relation to the easier one. Now on this one, you can choose 4 items or weapons, or items or characters, excuse me, between this list here. And I'm not sure if the list will change as we get more characters released. I'm not sure if other characters will get added into this general gacha draw down the road. Some games do that, some games don't. I don't really know, but nonetheless, you do get these characters here, right? You get to choose which ones you want. These are the ones I'm looking for personally. I do have a guide video talking about this stuff if you want to know. Anywho, the only thing I don't like about this selection is that I have 2 light characters. Anyway, so you get to choose, but what happens here with the rates is that it's weighted down between them. So since you're choosing 4, it's at 0.15. So that's a cumulative 0.6, and then the rest of the stuff's the other 0.6 out of the total 1.2. But it's 0.15, so it's harder to get these things individually, right? So that's kind of how things break down. But it's still way better than trying to get something else, because odds are still that you're going to get one of these things than getting something that's got a 0.06, right? So that's just not likely then that you're going to get something outside of what you're looking for. However, it did mention, and I think I just saw it again, and we read it a moment ago, that when you get something outside of what you're looking for, it will become a little bit easier. So let's see what they say for the draw support. An SSR is guaranteed to appear within 80 draws, like we mentioned, starting with the 64th. Oh, here it is. 64th draw of the draw support. The draw rate of the SSR increases by 5.8% each time. Oh, so when you get to 64, the pull rate shoots to 7% for that next one. Why 64? That's such an arbitrary number. Like, you have to do singles to get there. Will it spontaneously activate between 60 and 70? I'd assume it probably would. Anyway, it shoots to 7%. And if you get shafted on that multi, it shoots again to over, what, 12%, almost 13% chance. The problem is that you're like probably already guaranteed to get, you could get totally screwed. If you did singles in the middle, you could get to like the 75th or something gacha pull without an SSR. You could get totally screwed if you mess up the ratio and do like some odd number stuff. You could get totally screwed to where it'll be like the 80th character draw. Oh, that sucks so bad. But I see now the number does climb, so I guess that the other banner probably does that too. When acquiring an SSR from the draw support, the 50% rate is divided among the 4 SSRs of the selection by 1N, and the remaining is divided by 1N among the SSRs. So like they're just saying that that extra increase is divided. So they're giving us almost 6%, but it's not 6% of these selections. It's cumulative. So you're getting under 3, let's just say 3% rounding up. You're getting 3% separated between these 4 selections, and then 3% of the general pool as well. Similar to how it's already laid out, but just increasing the chances of getting something from the banner instead of just getting absolutely railed, right? So again, this banner doesn't have all that. I assume it works the same way though. But that is an interesting system. Now that we've talked about that, I want to kind of talk about the exchange rate for some of this stuff. Well, I can't say exchange rate because that's going to vary on a per player basis, like wherever you live, etc. But for me, how much do these typically cost? So, okay, so the 1 per account, you get one almost 1 multi for $10. Okay, like if you spend money, that's a good deal. 2 multis and some change for 20 bucks is a good deal. Like, but where's the base? I assume it's just doubled up. Okay, let's just say that. I think it's doubled up. Yeah, it's a 1 + 1. Okay, so the base is 1 multi is $21. Okay, so as an avid gacha game connoisseur, again, somebody that spends money on the game, that's not the worst price. That's not the worst price. That's actually probably among the lower prices for a gacha. Okay, per multi-summon, about $20. That's on the lower end of the spectrum. Now, there are other games that I play that are on the higher end of the spectrum, just their flat rate. You know, this is not like any sort of special rate. I'm not accounting for the double, right? But other games have different types of sales and sales structures, but like just flat rates. Legends is somewhere in that area, around $20 per multi. Dokkan is more than that. I think they're like $30 a multi, something stupid like that. I'd have to go back and confirm, but like that's not the worst. It's not great, but it's not the worst. So I wouldn't really buy unless they have those double ups or like other sales or anything like that personally. And in terms of where you're going to get those currencies free to play, there's going to be a lot of different locations. For example, the game gives them for like, you know, achievements. You also, I believe, get some for the missions and other challenges and stuff. You also get them as you obtain other items and characters in the codex here. This is like a big Pokédex style thing. As you get them, you start getting those rewards here too. So like you can get these kind of all over the place. But the obvious, for new players anyway, the obvious way you're going to get these is just simply by playing the game, obviously, right? Now, when we go to the story mode, you also get those tickets here just flat by default. So each ticket is pretty much worth 250 of those gems, except it's worth more technically because you get to keep those 250 as well. So you're getting cumulatively like 4 per chapter, it looks like. So it's not something you can bank on, right? It's only good for early game, things like that. It looks like you're getting a little bit, around 4 per chapter. You're gonna get some of these other gems as you complete these stages, as you would imagine as well. You can't really bank on that because that's a finite resource, right? But I'm assuming that in some of these other locations and stuff I don't have unlocked currently because I'm still kind of like doing rerolls, that you can obviously get more and maybe a more reliable stream. Maybe there's some sort of ranking system, etc. Now, speaking of systems in the game also does have other little systems for benefits in the game for players. For example, like activity fund. This is not something like super duper specific that really matters or anything like that. But we're going to open this up. You can get resources here. You can claim them. I'm going to get a crap ton of experience for Jinwoo. That's pretty awesome. I actually like that they're giving experience for free. That's pretty cool. Also, you can do a thing where you buy the little pack for this and you get additional stuff and special funds increases and all that stuff. Like it's got all of that stuff going on that if you've played gachas you're familiar with. It's also got this is not it. It's also got a battle pass in here somewhere that I lost track of, but it's also got a little battle pass thing. Which is, I'm not seeing it and I don't want to spend a lot of time. Is it this or is this the gacha again? I swear to God if this is a gacha again. Oh, it also has a timer, as you see, an elapsed amount of time warning in the game. That's pretty funny. Only other game I think I've seen that with, I think it was Pokemon Masters. Something else had that as a warning. I don't remember. So let's see how things look. The Hunter Pass, this is up for 46 days. Activating the Hunter Pass costs what? You can unlock this free to play by using 1,500 of these. Wait, this is a different currency. This may not be free to play. The following currency will be considered. This is, I've never even seen these diamonds. They actually have diamond. Okay, so they have multiple currencies in this game. I just now am realizing that I was looking at diamonds and not looking at the actual gem currency thing. I just now realized that the essence stones. These are, so you can't actually buy essence stones. You buy diamonds. Okay, so they did that. They did that system. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Pretty crappy system though, because what it does do is it locks you out of being able to buy any of that stuff free to play, like the battle pass. I was just about to say you can do it. It locks you out of buying any of these packs free to play. A lot of games do this, so it's not the craziest thing, not the most surprising thing, but some games will leave that, you know, unlocked for you. Speaking of unlocked, I got a free reward for reaching level 10 on Jinwoo. That's nice. Some games will leave that as an option to where you can spend your free gems on the battle pass or something, but they created a whole separate system, so that's not great. So this monetarily was about what was it, $12 or something like that for 1,500, something like that. Anyway, by doing so you will unlock these resources, but by doing the deluxe one you'll get 63 gacha pulls. God damn. By the way, 63 is such a scum number. 63 is such a scummy number. Why, you may ask? You could get lucky in there, obviously. But remember, the number to start seeing the increase is 60 freaking 4. Dude, they're too funny for that. They are too funny for that. So not only, by the way, do they have a battle pass, they've got a double battle pass. So here's how a lot of games will handle this double. A lot of games have the free track, which is the top common row. Then they'll have the premium track. And then they will have an extra incentive to buy like let's just call it deluxe in this case because this game calls it deluxe, but that's not really its own separate row. These items should be on the premium track, and a lot of games with the deluxe track, if they're going to offer it, this is just a boost. Like deluxe automatically will, and this only has 30 tiers to it. Say deluxe would automatically unlock 10 levels or something. This game has a whole other track to it. So I'd assume that if you buy deluxe, you also get premium too, right? You've got to get premium. You get the 63 gotchas, but it also gives this rune selector, it looks like. No, randomly obtains 1 heroic rune. That's pretty good, by the way. I'm sure those are going to be super hard to get. It's got to give you premium too, right? There's no way you've got to buy both of these. No way. Because you're only getting the ticket. The tickets are good, but it's other. Oh, you got 20 more tickets here. Okay, so 80 something tickets between 2 different gotchas, by the way. These silver tickets, special draw tickets, can most likely be used on other banners as well, other than the Choi one as well, if you don't like him. It's kind of weird. But they also still have the system where you can literally purchase experience, which I'm not really mad at that. That makes sense in case somebody gets behind or something like that. It's just kind of weird how they've laid it all out and the way that you can see how other games kind of handle this. Now, part of that's probably because I don't play a lot of Netmarble games. So Netmarble, they haven't got me to play one of their games in a while, since maybe 7 Deadly Sins, and I kind of fell out of it when they started doing a lot of original characters. I think around the time they released their 4th one, I was out. So I liked them at first, but I was like, bro, can I actually get just characters from the series? So anywho, maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is Netmarble typical practices. Now, I brought this idea up earlier, but I'll end on this. The question then becomes, and I don't know what the Army of Shadows is. I don't have them unlocked. My account's pretty trash. I'm actually going to re-roll this one. The question then becomes, how good are these characters with extra advancements in them? You see right here, Juhi, if I were to give her this, she's not a good character. She gets increases as the rate that she's recovering, extra HP for the character, things like that. How good are these other characters with dupes in them? Because it's just with those pull rates like we talked about in the beginning, it's not feasible to say I'm gonna get all these SSRs. And for the record, if you did any re-rolling, if you got more than one SSR, you should probably just keep that account. Especially if you're gonna be free to play, you should probably just keep that account. So how feasible will those characters be? That's the question. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe, check out the other content on the channel, and I'll see you all next time.